to the whitest house. Slave souls haunt the halls when the light is out. Except the blood of the poor and the way they mouth. The last gas of a world that is dying out. Welcome to the whitest house, where every room is a tomb that they lie about. Where you can put your filthy feet on the finest couch, and for the right amount, you can even buy it out.
That's the essence of your entire political identity. You might be a white supremacist.
Welcome. You holding it. This is the sunflower episode of This Week in White Supremacy. No, the flowers were coming into the spring or whatever, the summertime episode. You know what I mean? Welcome to This Week in White Supremacy. You know, we're down a man today. You know, Trouble in LS is you know, on vacationing, you know, handling his business. So shout out to him. But we are here. You know, I'm Jasiri X. I'm the co-founder, CEO of One Hood Media, and next to me,
the waffle-colored Wonder Twin. You know, a man like Saïd with the shades and the silky. You get me out here with it today. And we are joined by my illustrious co-host, my Wonder Twin in the pantheon of Jones.
The twin who wouldn't be in the Heights, you know what I mean? It's me, it's your girl. Just a regular back.
You're right. You're representing the background dancers.
Just a chocolate drop there.
Her representing all the background black people, you know, because you're too dark to be in the front. It's your girl, it's your miracle. What's popping? Hope you're having a great day. This lovely Wednesday. You know,
damn, yeah. So I mean, let's get into that. I don't know if we can pull up that that video from the Root, John, and kind of play that first minute to just because I think that kind of lays out the root of people's problems with, you know, in the Heights, you know, Lin Miranda Manuel, whatever the brother's name is, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just call him Lin. Can we pull that video up? Yeah, let's run this real quick. Are we having some technical difficulties? You got it, John?
Congratulations on In the Heights. It was a lovely musical. But as a Black woman of Cuban descent, specifically from New York City, it would be remiss of me to not acknowledge the fact that most of your principal actors were light-skinned or white-passing Latinx people. So with that, what are your thoughts on the lack of Black Latinx people represented in your film?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was something we talked about, and I needed to be educated about.
And the hell with those dark-skinned people.
We tried to get the people who were best for those roles, and that specifically. And we saw a lot of people like Daphne or Dasha. But I hear you on, you know, trying to fill those cast members with darker skin. I think that's a really good conversation to have. Something that we should all be talking about.
You could have completely avoided the conversation by just doing it. Right, like just having the actors there in the first place, then we wouldn't have to have the conversation. I mean,
he would rather
apologize after the fact. Like, yeah, you know, why didn't we have more Black people? And let's talk about it. Maybe in the sequel.
That's a great topic. Right? With a documentary or something.
You're onto something there. Yeah. Like, listen, like, like, no sé qué pasó aquí. Like, I don't know what happened here. Like, you know what I mean? For all the Spanish speaking people, there you go. You know, maybe I'll be in the Heights. Maybe I'll be in there, like Miracle said.
What happened? What do you see happen, Miracle? Well, I mean, he did later on say that, like, oh, hey, didn't you see those background dancers?
Where are my background singers?
Didn't you see those? Remember that scene where we had 500 dancers? Didn't you see those 5 Black people scattered about that scene? And shout out to, you know, Miss Leon. But also, you know, anytime you hear, but as a Black woman, you know, yeah, you and Yes is in trouble. Like you about to get hit with some flames. But as a Black woman, oh shit. Play a miracle.
Okay, well, as a Black woman, speaking for myself, because I'm not Afro-Latina, I would say that first of all, this critique was raised over 6 months ago. When In the Heights was first, the commercials and trailers were first put out. So the fact that they did not take this critique seriously to have a more succinct, empathetic answer is very problematic, number one. Number two, I think one of the first couple episodes, I talked about how it's very important to know like which Black friends are your friends and which Black people you have around you, specifically for moments like this, because we based on a play. The play has had more diverse casting in the musical, so that's number one. So there are people of darker hue who could have fulfilled these roles. Number two, when you're talking about an actual place, Washington Heights is an actual, factual place. MTV actually had like an In the Heights, reality TV show for those of us, who are a little bit older and watch, like MTV documentaries back then. So this is an actual factual place where there are real people. So what they could have done was said, you know what, this is a story of like my friend or like my cousin and his day in Washington Heights. And that would have been a better promotional material, but instead, like, this is a representative thing. And when you talk about you're going to be representative, people expect representation.
Right.
And they failed. And I just think also, again, it goes to the fact that, like, we keep clamoring for these white spaces. We keep clamoring for this white appreciation and these white dollars. And that comes at the expense of whitewashing our art and our work. And if we're not going to be truthful and honest about that, we're going to keep getting these things. I'm more concerned about Rita, because Rita
didn't give a damn what you had to say.
Rita, who was famous because she wore brown face, Rita, who I did not know that. I learned, Twitter learned me something today. She is famous because she did brownface in the original West Side Story, and that's how she got her start. So she, of all people, needs to be more hypersensitive and aware about colorism.
She said, "No, es un hombre moreno." She's brown. Her name is Brown, so it's like Moreno means brown. So that's why she thought she'd get away with that shit.
Well, so for those that didn't see, Rita was on Stephen Colbert's show. And not to talk about In the Heights, but to talk about a documentary about her life. But she swerved all the way out of. She was like, hey, stop the talk. We're gonna talk about In the Heights. Leave my man alone. like she rolled for. But let's see what she said. She's defending her friend.
There's been some criticism for the lack of Afro-Latino people in the Heights, the movie adaptation of his play.
I mean, it's like
what do you make of that?
You can never do right, it seems. This is the man who literally...
The darkies just want so much.
You could have cast...
Espera. Wait, espera.
I mean, I would love to say I did, but I couldn't. Lin-Manuel has done that really single-handedly, and I'm thrilled to pieces. And I'm proud that he produced my documentary.
And so, are you saying that while you may understand where people's
come on, they're trying to save her,
misplaced in criticizing him in this?
Well, I'm simply saying, can't you just wait a while and leave it alone?
Shut up, Buck.
Who are Puerto Rican, who are also from Guatemala.
She's like, I'm simply saying, shut the hell up.
And who are also fair. We are all colors in Puerto Rico.
I know, but
this is how it is, and it would be so nice if they hadn't come up with that and left it alone.
Who is they?
Now. I mean,
the dark skin, those dark skin
coalition. The dark. I'm part of the dark skin coalition.
You are the president and CEO of the One Hood Dark Skin Alliance.
And we be out here. You know,
I mean, somebody
I'm gonna send you a request for a raise as the CEO of the dark skin. I deserve reparational payment.
But I mean, but that was the thing. But it was interesting because her comments came after Lynn himself went on Twitter and wrote an apology. This is a little bit. I'll read his apology. I started writing The Heights because I didn't feel seen. And over the past 20 years, all I wanted for us all to be, what I wanted for all of us is to feel seen. I'm seeing the discussion around Afro-Latino representation in our film this weekend, and it's clear that many of our dark-skinned Afro-Latino community don't feel sufficiently represented within it, particularly among the leading roles. I can hear the hurt and frustration over colorism, of feeling still unseen in the feedback. I hear that without sufficient dark-skinned Afro-Latino representation, the work feels... What?
Without sufficient.
Yes, he said the works feels extractive of the community. We wanted so much to represent with pride and joy, and trying to paint a mosaic of this community, we fell short. I'm truly sorry. I'm learning from the feedback. I thank you for raising it, and I'm listening. I'm trying to hold space for both the incredible pride of the movie we made and to be accountable to our shortcomings. Thanks for your honest feedback. I promise to do better in my future projects, and I'm dedicated to the learning and evolving we all have to do to make sure we're honoring our diverse and vibrant community. Siempre, LMM. So what do y'all think about?
I'm dedicated to the learning we all have to do. It's a good apology, but it's a lot of deflection in there. Yeah. Sometimes you just need to say I fucked up. Like that 3 words. Just
that's
I fucked up.
My bad.
If you don't cuss, my bad. And just move on.
It's like my nigga, it's like, you know, you from the Heights, right? You grew up in Washington Heights. Like, my nigga, you grew up with people that look like who you were supposed to be representing. Like,
did he grow up in the Heights?
I thought he did. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But I mean, either way, it's just like, if you in Washington Heights, you're gonna see black people.
Right.
This is that simple. You're gonna cut. It's like, you know, that was, as much as I love Friends, right? Friends is one of my favorite TV shows ever, even though it was hijacked, right? Or it hijacked in Living Single. But like, the thing that had me tight about Friends is like, you depicted a New York City with no black people.
Yeah, Seinfeld.
Like Seinfeld too. It's like, where are you in New York to avoid these people? Right? You can't go 3 blocks without running into somebody that's got a little bit of pigment in them someplace.
Right.
So, you know, and for them to be like, oh, offer these apologies after the fact, you were creating a movie intentionally without black people. So it's like, you could have sprinkled somebody in there someplace.
I mean, well, they did in those 3 huge dance numbers that had about 100 people.
Yeah, I guess
4 or 5 dancers in there,
you know,
and that's what they consider representation. But I think it goes to what Miracle was saying, like, you know, at the end of the day, this is kind of how, when a lot of times when you go into the mainstream, you have to make your art, particularly if you're coming from a cultural perspective, it can't be too black. It can't be, you know, too Latinx. It can't be, you have to water it down and kind of make it palatable to the broader white America. And so I think that's what they did with the knowledge of, like, this is how, you know, they get the bag. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Miracle.
I was going to say, but people have to speak out because erasure is so important, because a lot of times we didn't even talk about like Afro Latinx, Afro Latino, Afro Hispanic people until a couple of years ago, right? And the reason is why, because what we see on TV, what we see on telenovas, what we see in our magazines, what we see is what we depict, right? We don't think about, like in Brazil, like Black people are being murdered every single day. We don't think about what's going on with our Black indigenous folks in Mexico and along the borders, because that's not the picture that we see. And so representation is so important. So when we're talking about these stories, these pictures, representation becomes the narrative. And then when we talk about like Tyler Perry or Kenya Barris, keep talking about this light-skinned colorism paper backtest, now we're seeing that it's going to be done across genres. So Crazy Rich Asians, which this producer and director is the same film, he didn't have dark-skinned Asians in his film. When we talk about, you know, now like In the Heights and these other shows that are coming, they don't have dark-skinned people. And so now we keep having this conversation, like, we're here. Black people are here. Black disabled people are here. Black fat people are here. But then this then translates to, oh, well, then everyone has to be light skin and long hair to be like a person of color or to be like ethnic passing. And then that's where all the representation comes from. And then once again, we're told just to see yourself, just be happy. And you people, just a few more years, and you people may be able to see yourselves. And then lastly, I will say, just because a show depicts someone not as a felon or a gangbanger or a drug dealer doesn't mean we have to celebrate it. And the fact that you're telling people to ignore colorism because we're not seeing people of color be criminals is so problematic. And it shows how the floor is the bar. The bar is the floor. It's in Hades. I just think people want more for themselves. That's all.
Yeah, it also reminds me of these things that kind of came up. Remind me of when the brother, the young brother from When They See Us won the award, and they kind of, erased his Latinxness in the beginning. And it kind of reminded me of that. It reminded me of, somebody put the gods of Egypt, and it just made me so angry.
Was it? You mean Lord of the Rings in Egypt, or Game of Thrones in Egypt?
Like,
man,
what
that shit
the
was
hell?
so egregious,
The gods of Egypt? What? Like,
you try to tell me Jamie Lannister is a fucking?
Hey, that's what I'm saying. But you just had, the woman from Wonder Woman coming out like, I'm playing Cleopatra, and I really don't care what y'all have anything to say about it. And so, I mean, it's something that happens a lot. I was reading a story where it was, it's an indigenous, a Mexican actress that's dark skinned, and it was a group of fair skinned Mexican actresses that like tried to prevent her from getting an award. Like, they were upset because of the roles that she was getting and the prominence that she was getting. So I mean, we see this over and over, and like I said, like that lack of represent. But we're seeing, Afro Latinx folks that obviously are talented. We see them, but I had one more question for both of you all, like, because people kind of made the juxtaposition between the casting of In the Heights and the casting of Hamilton, and was kind of like, well, man, when it came to like finding these like, slave owner roles, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you seem to be able to find like dark-skinned Black people and that were very talented, that could sing, that could dance, and those individuals, led to the tremendous success of Hamilton. How do you juxtapose that with not being able to find people for The Heights? Or was it because this was a movie and they felt like they had to water it down? What do y'all think about that?
I mean, in Hollywood, there's always, that pound of flesh that you have to sacrifice, and unfortunately, dark skin is that pound of flesh. Like, if your Broadway play or your onstage play is represented by, Black people and darker brown and Black people, then once you get it to the silver screen, you're always gonna, Romanize it to make it more palatable, like you said. But there's also a thing to say, it's like it's so much easier to cast Black and brown people, darker people on the end of the spectrum when it comes to these aggressive and, oppressive roles. You know what I mean? Having Black people representing these violent and like, super aggressive in your face roles or something like that. You know what I mean? It's a lot easier to have us in those roles versus something delicate and talented and, joyous. And, that's one thing Miracle always highlights is we don't ever have a celebration of Blackness, in this jovial sense that's on a silver screen that's really put out there for us to really, patronize.
Well, I mean, we do have a celebration.
Don't say it's Tyler Perry. Don't say it's Tyler Perry.
No.
Oh, I'm about to say
we are about to celebrate a brand new federal holiday. Congress.
Why couldn't you just, what?
See, and this is why, and I said this last night. I said this last night. Juneteenth is a federal holiday, but critical race theory about to be a federal offense. I mean, they do that in the same breath, the same brushstroke. This is cool, but that's not.
But I guess what do you? I mean, because you did have Black people were obviously. I mean, is this an extension of like when everybody wore a kente cloth and like kneeled down for George Floyd? Is this an extension of that? Man. Because I think it passed like unanimously in the Senate. Right. Somebody said federal holiday in exchange for what? What do we make of, Juneteenth, finally being recognized? And just to say, like, I think Pennsylvania made it a state holiday last year. Yeah. And so it's like, right. It's recognized, like in Pittsburgh this year, it'll be recognized as a holiday. What should be, how do we feel about that, Miracle?
you know, as a Black person, anytime I can take a day of rest, I'm going to be happy and thankful for it, right? But I mean, who asked for Juneteenth to be a federal holiday when we have the anti-lynching bill, when we have the Breathe Act, For the People Act, when we have all this actual legislation like impact people's lives, Black people's lives? How is Juneteenth just like shoot to the front? Like there was no galvanizing, there was nothing behind, and this performative aspect that Congress does like every single time they refuse to actually give people what they ask for. It's ridiculous. And I will say it was perfected through Obama. So this is part of his legacy. He's like, not gonna give you what you want, but here's a program. I'm not gonna brush my shoulder off, like. But here, like, we're about to do a concert in the White House, y'all. Like, you're gonna get that. You're not gonna get.
Let me ask you this, Miracle.
We're gonna sing this Al Green.
Did this come so quickly because of how fast Joe Biden signed the anti-Asian hate bill?
Yes.
Was this kind of
100%. 100%. Joe,
you think that it's a response to that?
Yes, because everybody was like,
I thought this.
We didn't get our Black people bill, but you know the Asians got their Asian hate bill, and it was like, y'all gotta be careful what you ask for. Y'all wanted a Black, like, you gotta be careful.
Go celebrate.
What you ask for, and now we get you.
Go eat these ribs. Go eat these ribs and watermelon, nigga. Enjoy the long weekend.
It's very problematic because we don't even have a fair wage. We're talking about like literally firing and banning critical race theory. Like, how are you going to explain Juneteenth to people? Like, how are you going to explain?
You can't have one without the other. Like,
how are you going to explain that Texas, a state that actually seceded from the Union twice over slavery, kept Black people enslaved over 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, 2 months after the Civil War ended, 2 months after the 13th Amendment was passed? How are you going to explain that to people without critical race theory? That's what I want to know.
You're going to say, hey, remember them? And so there was some workers that finally like was able to. I mean, I don't know what they call them? Indentured workers,
indentured servants,
indentured servants or whatever. I mean, yeah. I mean, you're going to lie like they lie about everything else.
This is no different. This is no different than saying the stork brings babies. You know what I mean? This is the government's way of saying into the classroom, the stork brings babies. So we had Juneteenth because we want to celebrate Black people, but not because they were enslaved, not because they were, you know, there was a genocide inflicted upon them, not because we took them from the homeland. It's just, you know what? On the 17th, 18th of June, we're going to celebrate Black people, and we're just not going to talk about why. But that's such an easy thing to spoon feed people. And it's gonna catch on, and it's easy. It's like, oh, well, Black people got a holiday. What we gotta talk about slavery for?
I feel like Juneteenth is going to get Black people arrested. Here's why. I saw a tweet that said white people are going to celebrate Juneteenth if they do Cinco de Mayo, and they're going to be showing up in kente cloths and afro.
Please, no.
I mean, it will. Why won't they? They call up everything. They colonize everything else.
Be catches. Okay, people will be catching fades on Juneteenth. People might be like mad disrespectful. I don't think we need it. Like I want.
Are we gonna see it
for ourselves? I wanted Juneteenth to be like a Black thing, and not to be like separatist. But you know how like nobody does Kwanzaa, and it's just like a few Black people do Kwanzaa. I like that Juneteenth was like a few Black people did Juneteenth. Like you were like, why are these people marching down the street? People had no idea, right? Now it's gonna be everybody's gonna be there. Everybody's gonna be wearing the red, black, and green. Don't even know what RBG stands for.
Nat Turner's gonna be on like the club flyer, like Nat Turner on the club flyer, like
man. We're gonna see
party for your freedom.
We're gonna see more blackface from here on out. This is gonna be the time to get that. They're gonna get that blackface on for Juneteenth. I'm telling you. It's gonna be blackface. It's gonna be 2 Live Crew records getting played. It's gonna be all kinds of cultural appropriation. Rachel Dolezal about to have a ball. She's probably the most excited.
The barbecue's gonna be at her house.
And Kiki Diallo is gonna be out here cooking everything.
I mean,
and doing hair.
Is that her name?
And her name is Kiki Diallo.
Rachel.
You better respect that white Nubian queen.
On Juneteenth Eve, we are not about to do this. no.
Put some respect on the white Nubian queen's name.
But I think you make a great point though, because like every other holiday becomes commercialized. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
St. Patrick's Day, a whole bunch of people be wearing green. That's not, not Irish. You know what I'm saying? A whole bunch of people go out and drink, like you said, Cinco de Mayo. People be putting sombreros on and going, and people use it as a and then I think in light of the fact that you have all these bills saying like you can't teach the real history. Well, you can't teach history in a way that makes basically that makes white people uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so you had there was a bill that came out in Arizona that basically said teachers who teach critical race theory or teach race in a way that makes white people uncomfortable, you might get a $5,000 fine. You know what I'm saying? And right here in Pennsylvania, they're talking about passing a bill, and not just for public schools, but also for universities, for any government funded thing where you can't make, and in the Pennsylvania bill they put gender and race. You can't make somebody, feel a certain type of way because of their sex or their race. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like right now, I mean, literally, you're trying to pass laws to like, make it to where I can't even teach a real history of really what happened because somebody might, be uncomfortable with it.
I love it when oppression is like intersectional like that. It's like, yay, they've learned so much. But at the end of the day, it's ridiculous because like I don't want to call people's intelligence, because I know at the end of the day this is just
don't be an ableist, Miracle. Don't be an ableist.
This is just a gathering cry to like rally a base. But like, how are you going to sit there and say that you can't teach a theory in educational settings? Right. We've just had this whole debate about what are we supposed to do with all these Civil War statues and replicas and all type of stuff. And we have literally said, put them in museums, take them to classrooms, teach people, have a discussion. And yet now we're being told we can't even teach people a theory. That isn't even being that popular.
So just to touch on what you said, because you're right in terms of the, a report came out that said Fox News mentioned critical race theory nearly 1,300 times in the past, 3 months. You know what I'm saying? And so like, you're right in the sense of, a lot of times these right-wing Republicans, it's like they throw stuff on the wall. It's like, okay, this is sticking. Let's keep going at this, and let's keep pushing this, and let's keep pushing this, and let's keep pushing this. And it's like, and it, to me, it's really a pushback into, people talking about white privilege and white supremacy in a very real way. That was one of the, the things that the Trump presidency did. Like people started to actually openly talk about white supremacy and white privilege. And so this is a pushback on that. Like now you can't say somebody's privileged because they're white or privileged because they're male. Now that's like illegal or against the law. But I do think, inherently it's able to pass because people are not, they're not reading this. They're not, they're listening to what somebody is telling them. They don't know what critical race theory is. They don't know the real history of their own country. You know what I'm saying? They don't know the real history of slavery. Like, and just like you said, so they'll adopt Juneteenth to party and have fun, but don't even want to know about, like they might, I guess you might have watched 12 Years a Slave or Roots. This is actually what, Nicole Hannah Jones, who produced the 1619 Project, actually said that these white people were saying to her, they were actually telling her they watched Roots. And because they watched Roots, they had an understanding of what slavery was about. This is crazy.
Yes. And I feel like Roots should be mandatory viewing for Juneteenth. Like you cannot celebrate Juneteenth.
We're going to have a watch party.
We're going to watch Roots.
I want to watch party.
Mississippi Burning. We're gonna watch Rosewood. Rosewood, like, to me,
Django.
No, don't like that. No, that's
love Django. I watch Django every Martin Luther King Day because that's what he would want us to do, is watch Django. And I want to see Jamie Foxx killing white people just because that was a Dave Chappelle skit that just ran. You know what I mean? Dave Chappelle going back in time and killing slave masters. Turned into a Tarantino film, and that was hilarious to me.
What it was people saw. What was the one? where they killed Hitler. What was that one?
The time, the Time Haters.
Inglourious Basterds.
Inglourious Basterds, yeah, Inglourious
People
Basterds,
saw
yeah.
Inglourious Basterds and they was like, well, you wouldn't make a movie like that where they rose up against slave masters. He was like, hold my beer, I'm about to make that movie. And he made that movie. Dang, somebody watched Roots. Did you all watch Roots in school?
Nah.
In school, no.
What school did you go to watch Roots? I wanted to go there.
The question, this is the question. Was it an all black school? Because if you was the only black person in that class, you had to watch Roots.
Right, I'm about to say, yeah.
Somebody getting their ass kicked. Like,
I'll tell you this. My freshman year, we watched Amistad and this white kid laugh, and he got mashed up. He got mashed up after class.
He laughed at people getting whipped?
Yeah. They fucked him up. Yeah, they fucked him up. Yeah. Shit was wild.
So maybe, I don't know. Do we need to have a watch party, Miracle, all day watch party on Saturday?
For Roots, I mean, well, it's gonna be an all black. It's gonna be an all black watch party because
it's a boy.
No trolls allowed. We get to see OJ.
You know what? No, we're not about to watch Roots because if somebody's gonna say something stupid, and then like I'm gonna have to catch charge, and I am trying
just like
to make it through.
We do not want, to go to jail on Juneteenth, but and it's interesting because we're talking about, Juneteenth, the federal holiday. We're talking about how now schools are making, the actual learning of our history illegal. And then we had, this article come out about, these black valedictorians in Mississippi. And this was, we posted it on our website. People had a lot to say. It said the black students won school honors and then came calls for a recount after two white families claimed a grade calculation error. A Mississippi school added their children as co-valedictorian and co-salutatorian. What do y'all think?
The black girls took AP courses. They took AP courses.
Oh, the white people didn't?
No, they did not. Why are you?
Go ahead,
Siri's trying to set me up, and I have to be like,
no. I mean, I just was wondering.
No.
The
Caucasian children did not. And so the black students were higher ranked, had a more rigorous educational course, did more extracurricular activities, were higher ranked. And because of this recount, they took the weight away so that these Caucasian children could have this honor. It's highly ridiculous. They knew it was ridiculous. Absolutely. And the only reason they put out multiple statements about it because they got called out on it. Because they didn't think anybody was going to care.
Well, I mean,
go ahead, Fruit.
What I want to know is when we're going to have this discourse around the scholastic oppression Olympics that white people have won gold medals in every single thing, because now it always becomes about what about me, what about my history, right? And what about my education, and what about all this? To strip black children the right to have academic excellence after they took a weighted course, which is a harder course, just shows that we got to stand the double in every single arena and every medium, and still just to be truncated and minimized whenever we succeed. If this isn't indicative of the definition and working of white supremacy in the finest ways, in the most efficient ways, I don't know what is. And this goes back to they teach in patriotic education now, the 1834 project, in response to 1619. It's like they colonizing every single thing we do in a thumb and nose technique to minimize our appearance everywhere.
Not only that, and it's like also too, it's that we're told, and this is the thing. Like I remember that was one thing my mother told me, like, hey, you're gonna have to work twice as hard. Period. And it's like you're as a black person in this, and that's sad, but it's like you tell us like, oh, all you have to do is go to school and be the best student you can. And it's like these girls do that. Like the thing that you tell us to do. Go get an education, be a good student. If you just did that, it will lead to success. And you do that. And guess what? Here comes white mediocrity, always coming up. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like how excellent these young women are. Here's white mediocrity right there alongside Black excellence. And it reminded me of, you know, the discourse, and you had mentioned Barack Obama, who by all accounts, I mean, however you feel about what he did policy-wise, you cannot argue that this is the greatest politician of all time. He is the greatest politician. I mean, the man won president of the United States with the name Barack Hussein Obama. That's it. Game over. But it was like the thing of like, here's Barack Obama, this like Harvard constitutional scholar lawyer, and he's standing next to like John McCain, who was last in his class at the Naval Academy, who like his claim to fame, he got shot. I mean, no, I'm not gonna try to go Trump on him. You know what I'm saying? But he was a prisoner of war. Thankfully, he came back. He made it home. You know, he did his due diligence. But it's like, you know, here, and for us to get on that stage, we have to be perfect. Michelle had to be perfect. Barack's children had to be perfect. Remember in that president, I don't know if y'all remember this. Remember, like, what was the vice president woman? Sarah Palin, like one of her children, like had a baby out of wedlock. And it wasn't a big deal to these. They
got a show about it. They did a show on her about that.
But what I'm saying, could you imagine if that was one of Barack's daughters? Like how like people go crazy. Hey, I seen Barack's daughter with a blunt in her hand. He ain't been president for damn near 8 years. And so it just is that like Black excellence. Like it's like you tell us to do these things, we do these things, you hate us anyway. You trip us up anyway, you bring us down anyway. And that's what, you know, it's all gotta come down.
I went through this at my school. We used to do award ceremonies and recognitions. I was the top of my class. So the parents petitioned and we actually stopped doing award ceremonies because like me and my siblings kept getting the top honors. And when I was in a private all white school as a child. So like, it's like ridiculous. But it like that stuff like happens like all the time. And I was very upset because I just like winning and I like trophies because like I didn't do sports and I couldn't do anything else. But you know, people always feel a type of way when they do see Black people succeed, which I think is like, as soon as we started seeing Black people get degrees and get education and start making certain marks, we then saw people say, oh, well, you don't have to have a job for this, right? You don't have to have a college degree to do this internship anymore. You don't, you know, I don't think people notice that, like, oh, now you can do this internship program. Oh, now you can do this training program. As soon as so every time we hit those metrics and those marks, the goalposts keep moving. And I think it's why, again, we just like, I don't want to work hard. I don't want to work twice as hard. I don't want to do extra stuff. I just want to exist and relax and like be okay and not have to work. And I think that at some point we really have to divest from whiteness. I know it's hard because we're in this sea of white supremacy and this country and culture that's based on whiteness. But I really think we have to divest from it and just like live our lives and stop trying to obtain these things that were never even designed for us in the beginning.
It was so fascinating to me. It was so fascinating to me when that young sister applied to like, or she got accepted to like what 40 schools or something like that, or every Ivy League school, and the vitriol she received that she was taking opportunities away from other students and who possibly needs to be accepted to this many universities. Instead of championing something like that, you're gonna tear it down. Now, if this is a white student, if this is someone other than Black, you build them up, and you know there's gonna be parties and there's gonna be, you know, articles written, everything like that. But instead, because it was a Black woman, right? It was a young black woman, 17, 18-year-old child, really. She got destroyed on Twitter for, hey, listen, I got into 30 universities. Congratulations. How come we can't applaud that?
Because it's like when you successful and Black, you got to be like real. You got to front your shoulders down and you got, oh, thank you so much. Yeah. You can't like flex on them. You can't be, but dumbass Donald Trump can go around and just be a straight up asshole for 4 years. And like, that's okay. Like that's acceptable for these white men to be like this. But if you're Black and successful, you got to be humble. You got to be demure, because the minute you try to flex, it's like, oh, you're arrogant. Oh, you're a bad example. Right. I mean, and I know this wasn't, I mean, you just had 2 white children like shoot it out with the cops with AKs. And one was 14 years old.
Every quarter, every rule of engagement was placed. Every conduct of battle that you possibly could give somebody
Yes.
Was given.
So, yes. And
but
so
Tamir Rice couldn't get that.
No, but they both were captured alive. But this is my thing. They both were captured alive. A 14-year-old girl who they said she picked up the AK, said, I'm about to go Grand Theft Auto on this. You know what I'm saying? She actually was shot, but she was wounded. And a 12-year-old boy. But this is the thing. I haven't seen one picture of nobody's parents. Where, like, could you imagine if a 12-year-old black child and a no, I'm just saying like that. Look, no, they weren't. They were at a school for
that's why
they were at a school for bad children. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if that was some black children, then they would be terrorizing these. What are you doing? What are you teaching at your own? Remember when the young sister in Columbus was killed by the police? They tried to blame her family for that, her parents for that. You know what I'm saying? Right. Whenever it's us, you tried to blame, Trayvon Martin's parents. You tried to blame Tamir Rice's mom for allowing her child to play across the street from her damn house. But these children shot it out with the cops. And we haven't seen not near a parent even have to say, what in the hell are you doing at your home, sir or ma'am? You know what I'm saying? That was just my little rant. I'm sorry. I know that wasn't on the thing, but I just got hyped.
No, I mean it's relevant because this goes into the same thing, and this is what Miracle said eloquently: divesting from whiteness, right? Like, yes. We're not going to work harder for you to treat us to be less. We're not going to overextend ourselves. Like, for us to appear in these spaces, doubled, tripled, overextended, worked out of our minds, have our children murdered in front of us, have our children lynched, have a discourse and an anti-educational theory about how we cannot learn about our history because it's anti-white, and still expected to be, oh yeah, let's be out here acting like everything is cool. We can't be represented in screen. We can't be, why? What incentive do we have to be here to play a cog in the wheel of democracy when it works for everybody except for us? Every time we turn the corner, right, we minimize. Why would we want to be a part of this?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I think that's the whole thing. We don't. What we're saying is we don't want to be in the Heights too. Okay, regardless. All right, we reject your movie and your roles. Okay, we don't want. So do we want to go into? Do we want to kind of wrap it up, or do we want to go into some more stuff? What y'all want to do,
brothers? We got so much white supremacy to talk about every week, and every week we can sit here and just go to fuck in on just anything. Miracle, look like you look like you chomping at the bit to say something.
No.
So did y'all want to kind of go into our Karen? Close it up, or do you want to kind of
please let's talk about the Karen, please?
Our Karen of the week. Speaking of like the stuff that black people have to what's the name of this episode? Shit black people have to deal with on a daily basis. So I guess our Karen of the week.
I watched Roots. I watched Roots. I watched Roots in this week of white supremacy. So I know about black people.
Okay.
Yes, but I mean, I think that's what would make Juneteenth like special. If like
I celebrated Juneteenth before it was a federal holiday.
What I'm saying is, let's say like, can we put in the law like all black people get like a pass for Juneteenth? We get like we can respond to your racist bullshit in the way we authentically want to and face no repercussions.
None.
That's what I want for my Juneteenth. So you can let it out. It's almost like it'd be like the Black Purge, you know what I'm saying? It was like, I can let it all.
Like that Patrice O'Neal skin. Like the Patrice O'Neal skin.
I can let it all out, right? On Juneteenth, and I don't have to get arrested. I get a pass.
You would like to say that, but we forgot our Terry Cruz's of the week. We forgot.
Who's our Terry Crews?
Those people. No, just in general. That white supremacist and blackface will then also be out here.
Did you see? Hey, Miracle, are you gonna watch the new Hidden Colors documentary? Did you see the cover?
You know what?
What in the hell is going on?
I'm about to do this with y'all today.
What happened?
We said we were talking about first of all, you know what? This is we're going to be here. No. I'm not going to let a man who allowed y'all to denigrate Black women by calling us bed witches now start around make you even more homophobic and transphobic by putting on a documentary called Buck Breaking and having the chains be the gay flag. No.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I'm lost. I'm completely lost.
Look at the video.
I just happen to be.
You know what? No, one of your friends. Let's talk about you and all your problematic friends.
I don't know. I don't know Tariq Nasheed. I've never met the dude. I do not know him. You know what I'm saying? However, I do know a number of Black people that have been in Hidden Colors.
Who are radicalized by Hidden Colors. It's not hidden. If you go to the library and look at the Black History section, all the colors will be there. All of them.
No, but I just happen to, you're not on Twitter, Farouk. You missed it. And I just happened to see the image of this, and I was just like, what? But I missed the pride flag. I didn't know the
pride if you look at the chains are like red, purple. Your Roy G. Biv. That's what the chains are, because he's basically trying to say that during slavery, white people brought homosexuality to Africa and to Black people, which is not the case. Like sexuality, gender variance have always existed in the world, but and for people who aren't aware, trigger warning, buck breaking is when slave owners, slave wives would rape and sexually assault Black enslaved men and boys. Same gender, opposite gender sexual assault. And it was called buck breaking to basically humiliate Black men and boys into submission, like they humiliated Black women and girls through sexual violence as well. So that's what this documentary is about.
Yeah, I was trying to think of. Man. Yeah, I was just trying to think, like, what problematic Black stuff did I see?
He has a documentary like queued up. He about to watch it at 7:03.
Farouk gonna watch it as soon as we get off.
I mean, I watched the first 3. Like, I remember, I was like, oh, okay, let me watch. My man gave it to me. I was like, oh, let me watch these. I never watched them before, right? And I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then I just felt like, Tariq Nasheed kind of faded into the obscurity of the internet, and then I didn't know like that he was still relevant.
I mean,
I didn't know, man.
He's doing the same thing that he's been doing, and it's like
applaud him for consistency, I guess.
Trying to get attention and trying to get his money. I mean, Tariq Nasheed, I mean, he has a history of dude was a pimp. I mean, that not to say that you can't. Malcolm had that history. Malcolm, of course, redeemed himself and became something a lot more. Tariq is still like, on his thing. Also did want to say, shout out to That's Hard. I like that. We do also, I guess before we close, let's start Karen, and the reason I was talking about the Juneteenth past is because, shout out to this Black woman in this video, because if it was somebody else,
grace and patience,
it might have gone down a little bit differently.
Oh, I'm leaving. You're gonna be leaving soon too.
Look at those terrible highlights.
No good bitch.
Okay, that's fine.
You guys want to call racism? Bitch, you're more racist than the fucking white person ever is.
Okay.
Fuck you, you fucking Black bitch.
Okay, that doesn't bother me.
Fuck you.
Okay, have a good day.
Don't dance around on your porch like a fucking monkey, whore.
Get out.
Oh, all of them just came out.
Jeez. Right.
Loaded.
It's
See,
so
I would have fell out. When she would have came around, I thought she would hit me, and now I got to see. That's what I would have done.
I don't know what her hairdresser is, but that's just me.
No, I mean, but it is wild. Like, when you're like trying to defend yourself from being called racist, and then like 2 seconds later, like every racial epithet like comes out of your mouth. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we knew you were racist to begin with. You know what I'm saying? Like, but unfortunately, like, we can't say it anymore in schools because it's against the law. So I don't know. But yeah, I mean, she's, shout out to whoever that Black woman was. She showed great restraint. She showed civility in the face of,
it's like you're shopping
that racial
at Ross.
tirade. Come on.
You're shopping at Ross.
Just for less.
Dress for less.
You know what I mean? or dress for less, whatever it is. Like, and no disrespect, you know, like cool, like that's what you want to do. I'm not mad at you. You know what I mean? But like, how you gonna come there on some superiority complex when you shopping at Dress for Less with that terrible dye job in your hair that you should be directing all that smoke to your hairdresser? Whomever did that to you, baby, like you need to go at them. That's why you upset. That's why you really upset, because they brought you out the house looking like that. That's just me. I don't know.
I think that we need to pay workers more because they should not have to tolerate this stuff. Like,
that's a fact.
I know people keep talking about the lockdowns making people like mentally unstable and people are going to be lashing out. But again, mental instability and anti-Blackness are not the same thing, and they're not interchangeable, right? You can be unstable and still not be a bigot or a racist or a homophobe or a transphobe. 100%. So like, I'm not going to say, oh, because we're so stressed out, she had to go to racial slurs. But I will say we need to like pay these workers more, people working fast food, these store clerks, because if it was me, I would have slipped and fell. I would still be in the hospital right now.
Do white people have like a group chat where they just exchange racist terms? Like, ooh, I found this one on Google. Let me text this to all my white friends.
I thought it's on Nextdoor. I thought that's what the Nextdoor app is about.
What's that? That's actually an app?
Yes. So
I don't see. I be so behind on social media.
That's not what Nextdoor is about.
Yes, it is.
What is Nextdoor?
Is
it like WhatsApp?
You're supposed to be meeting your neighbors, right? But really, it's people on Nextdoor being like, "Oh my God, this person looks mysterious in our neighborhood. Oh my God, who are these people in our neighborhood?" Yes, it is racist. It's like Neighborhood Watch, but on an app. And it's I looked at people's next doors, all Georgia, North Carolina, Ohio, and it's literally just like anti-Blackness. Like, oh my gosh, I saw this Black man walking through the neighborhood. You know, lock your doors. Put your valuables away.
It is kind of interesting because it is that, you know, and particularly because everybody has rings now. You know, people put like the videos because Ring has its own like app called Neighbors, and then of course, you know, like a lot of times like Ring is giving videos directly to the police, and you know, so it's surveillance. It is surveillance out the mug. But yeah, it's so hilarious because I have my little Nextdoor, and it's funny they be Nextdoor they be like I just heard gunshots. I just heard gunshots on the hill.
Fireworks.
What's going on? We need the police over there right now.
I didn't know anything about this news technology,
yes,
man.
They listen to the police scanners. They listen to the stuff be wrong all the time.
It's wild.
And it is horrendous.
It would just be like, just like you said, like, well, you know, white people like to tell. They like to, you know what I'm saying?
Tattle, man. They be all everybody like,
bro, they be.
That's the only job they don't want is minding their business. That's the only job white people don't want.
Right, and it'd be like there's a suspicious
some
character.
White people, not all.
They be like they're breaking into your cars. Yeah, it is wild. Nextdoor is a wild app. You know what I'm saying?
Like, and when they're wrong, they don't fix it. Like when they're like, "Oops, sorry, you went to your own car. We thought you were breaking." There is no like, my apology, my bad.
I got a story offline about that, man. About I had an incident like that. A friend of mine broke down. We were cleaning out his car before the tow truck came, and somebody came and accused us of stealing this vehicle. It got extremely violent. I'll tell you about it offline.
Why would you even bring that up?
Because you just said something about it.
Why you gotta implicate us? People, because I told them offline. Why would they be implicated in it? Why I gotta know that it got violent?
Maybe it was the. So look.
To say that offline. Then I can be like plausible deniability.
I was a victim of violence. Let me put it like that. I was a victim of violence.
Oh, you were the victim.
Yes.
Oh, you should have led with that.
Yes. Well, leave with that. Leave with that next time. So do we want to get into the call to action? Do we have a book? Yeah, you was dark. It was dark in there. Do we have
I'm light skinned, but I'm still a dark nigga.
You were too dark. You wasn't comfortable being that dark.
No, it was dark.
I'm not gonna stand for your anti-light skin bullshit today. Okay, I'm not gonna stand for this.
It's not anti-light skin bullshit. I just wanted to know you couldn't be black for like a dark skin black for like 30 seconds.
I'm wearing black and I have a Malcolm X a jumper on. Nice up your toss,
your blackness is performative.
Ooh, Juneteenth holiday. We're right back to there. You got
listen.
Got your Malcolm X to celebrate your Juneteenth.
I don't think.
Wait, this is the question. No, this is the question. Did
Siri about to stir the pot?
Did Malcolm X's family benefit off of that sweatshirt, my brother?
They did 100%. All the proceeds went to his family. All the proceeds.
That should be our book of the week. Reading Malcolm X biography. Boom, book of the week. There we go.
Autobiography of Malcolm X. Book of the week.
First of all, and I don't know because y'all every week call me a bigot. So I don't like white people, light skinned people, or men. That is not true. I don't have any anti-light skinnedness, sir.
I've never seen Miracle with any light skinned people outside of one hood. So I beg to differ.
You're a lie.
I've never seen Miracle. I've never seen
go on her Instagram. He about to go on your Instagram and try to find.
Man, listen.
Try to find. She don't play no Drake, no Miguel, no Trey Songz, like
nothing.
It ain't what they call you; it's what you answer to. And I don't gotta prove nothing because I know myself. And it is what it is. That's your truth. Hey, I hear you. Wait.
I'm just saying, optically,
I hear you.
You got some work to do.
I hear your truth. You know, I'm glad you feel comfortable to stand your truth. Your truth is not my truth, and it's okay.
Hey.
That is okay.
This is so for those people that have been watching this week with White Supremacy and have been thinking like, man, I can't wait till the pandemic is over. You know I can't wait till the pandemic is over. I'd actually like to meet these people in person. Well, guess what? This Friday.
We about to start throwing hands? Is that what you're saying?
Miracle. No. I'm talking about the fans of the show. I'm
about to say, it's like meet and greet for Paul.
I'm excited.
We want people to come.
Still have social standards.
Yes, right. I mean,
Siri about to pitch a
no, it's not a meet and greet. I'm just saying we'll all be at this event, and of course, folks will have masks, and we're gonna social distance. We'll all be at this event. It's Friday. It's at City of Asylum's tent, which is on Samsonia Way. It's called Artist Liberation. We'll be featuring 15 Black visual artists from Pittsburgh. We'll have food, Caribbean Vibes food truck. You know how we get down with the Jamaican food. Shout out Caribbean Vibes. We'll have performances. Brittany, Jam the Poet, NLS Ron will be performing. DJ QRX. So come out on Friday. It's free, but we are raising money for the Antoine Rose II Foundation. So if let's say you're not able to make it, still go to AntoineRoseFoundation.com and donate to the Antoine Rose II Foundation. Of course, for us, Juneteenth is also, unfortunately, the anniversary of Antoine's murder. And so we definitely keeping his family and loved ones in our prayers. But we're, and there's also a march for Antoine on Saturday. And starting at, where is it? The Overlook?
The Overlook in Mount Washington.
Yeah, the Overlook in Mount Washington from 2 to 4. Shout out to Pittsburgh. I Can't Breathe for putting on that march. But Friday, come hang with us. You can meet us in person. You could get you some Jamaican food and sit next to Miracle.
No, you will not sit next to me. I observe. I am socially awkward in person. I am socially awkward in person. I will look at you like I don't know you. So you can talk to Jasiri and Farouk. You can be like, hey, Miracle, and I'll wave at you from across the way. But please do not run down on me and act like because that's awkward and it's going to be awkward for both of us.
Well, don't run down on any of us, particularly in that environment, because we're peaceful people. We don't want any trouble.
I fall out and then I sue. So
and she is a lawyer. She can represent. Did you see that guy who was trying to represent himself in court, Miracle?
You know what? He going to jail.
That shit was wild.
Embarrassing, sir. You're supposed to make people empathetic to you. Now they look at you like you a scary black man.
Just yelling at the Jordan.
Just yelling. That is not getting your point across.
Yeah, you ain't doing yourself no favors, my nigga.
I was like, he did it. He guilty. That's what I said. He didn't even look. He can't even go from an insane defense.
I mean, at least, it's crazy. So, and is there anything else that y'all want to talk about? Say announcement. I mean, we of course on Tilt tomorrow at 12. Get your mental health check in on. We have Ask a Black Doctor tomorrow at 7. We'll be talking about racism and mental health. So tune in to Ask a Black Doctor, particularly if you have some questions. And I think, is that it?
That's it for me.
Yeah, and just if you haven't already, go back and watch our Monday night episode of the Power Hour. We had a lot of Farouk was on there, so if you like Farouk, you can see him again. But we had a lot
Clearly
of
people like me. You know it's true.
We had a lot of international conversations.
Check out the metadata. Check out the metadata for my segment. We'll see how high the numbers fight.
We also had a great what Black Pittsburgh needs to know. Your boy Milton kind of went off. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't get a chance to see it yet. He went in.
Milton went in. Milton was talking about sleepy Negroes, and these Negroes need to wake up. Like Milton ain't playing no game. So shout out to Milton, and also shout out to Bishop Marsha's.
Bishop Magic Don Juan.
Mikhail Awuna was also on the show. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, go back and check those shows out. But also tomorrow morning, we have a press conference.
10 a.m.
Oh shit, that is right. We do
10 a.m. in front of the city county building where we're unveiling our community vision to reimagine public safety. And so shout out to APA, Abolitionist Law Center, Take Action Mon Valley, Prevention Point, all of the folks that participated and community groups that participated in this. And so we'll see y'all tomorrow at 10 a.m. hopefully as well. It's a busy weekend for One Hood, y'all. You know what I mean?
We back, nigga.
We back. We outside. We outside now. What's up?
Niggas is on the outside. We on the outside, bro. Yo, see the man them on the road, eh? See the man them on the road. And all that.
When you're
we stepping, Jasiri and I stepping out in new Nissans and new sneakers all summer.
We can go live for the question.
New Nissans
and new sneakers.
Are they gonna be red, black, and green sneakers all summer?
I got red, black, and man got enough colors. I got.
Were they made by black-owned businesses or white?
Nah, they was probably made in sweatshops, but that doesn't mean I don't wear it.
Go on it.
But hey, hold on.
We got.
But look at this. Look at this.
Hey.
What is that? That's hot. What is that?
This is the community vision that we're unveiling tomorrow. Look at that. Look, you think come on, we ain't doing this this One Hood, y'all. We don't do nothing halfway.
How come I didn't know about this?
You see what we doing out here?
Read my shit.
Emails. You can't read.
You can't read this. You can't read this, Farouk.
But Farouk, we'll be making the audio tape version of it.
You said the big words edition.
Don't worry, we're gonna make Farouk read this, and it's going to be the audiobook version.
Yeah. So we will have some of these available for folks, that are there. And hey, big up to Ime, your mom's house. This is an Ime picture right here. He donated all the pictures. It's an Ime picture on the back. Ime donated all of these pictures. For this report.
Can I get one?
Shout out to him because he had to do it. And shout out to Heather Hobson and Motor Mouth Media for also helping us put that up. Of course you can, brother. You part of One Hood. Of course you can. You can get one. You know what I'm saying? And I'll sign it for you.
But there's a lot of pictures.
I'll sign the cover.
Yo,
no, it's a lot of people. I mean, we trying to do things. We want to step it up. We want to do things the right way. We got some more. We got another big announcement coming up. We don't want to reveal it today, but there's another big announcement coming up soon. You know what I'm saying? So soon
for the August.
Even before that. August is a big announcement, but even before that, we're launching something very soon. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, look.
We're launching so many things, y'all.
Look, this One Hood, we are not playing. We're not playing with y'all. So holler at us, like again, respectfully approach us on Friday if you like to. We'll say what's up. We'll say what's up, and everybody's welcome to the City of Asylum. Please come out. And more importantly, we'll have Black artists that have art for sale. And shout out to Mikhail. I mean, he's an amazing. I was at a studio today. Amazing artist, but just an all-around good brother. You know what I'm saying? Mikhail has digital billboards, 11 digital billboards throughout the city, featuring his art, and his art is very powerful. So I think that's it. That's it, y'all.
That's it for me.
All right. So
I'm about to go be an actor tonight.
I will see you all tomorrow morning. Oh, you about to try out for In the Heights too? Is that the lead role? The lead light skin?
Yeah.
All right, we out, y'all.
Exalted and light skin. That's gonna be the sequel. Light skin and elevated.
In the waffleness.
In the waffle. And you know what? Miracle gonna be behind me, supporting me.
No, you know what? Dancing. She's gonna be one of the extras dancing.
I was gonna be sitting there with the attitude, eating some food because we were the hairdresser was starting to get.
Oh
right,
yeah.
Right. All right, we'll see y'all next week. This week in White Supremacy. Y'all be safe.
Peace.
Welcome to the whitest house. Slave souls haunt the halls when the light is out. They suck the blood of the poor and to wipe their mouth. The last gasp of a world that is dying out. Welcome to the whitest house, where every room is a tomb that they lie about. Where you can put your filthy